Let me get the chop in this fable. We in the building. DB4. Die Before Me Gaming. Salute to the subscribers, man. Hey yo, let me know if you vibing or if you subscribing. Shout me a holler in the comment section. DBMG, what up? All my RTS people, what up? All my RPG people, what up? Oh, we gonna get it together. Let's turn up.
Yeah, you already figured the streets out. Yeah, well, it's all about smiles and cries. Put the joint down, man. What the fuck is that? Hold on, Lonzo, hold on. Smiles and cries. Smiles and cries, I hear you. Yeah, you gotta control your smiles and cries. Because that's all you have. And nobody can take that away from you. Oh, shit.
All right. What's going on, everybody? DB4 here, and welcome back to the channel. And welcome to Wartales. We are here for yet another glorious episode. Let's get it. Oh man. Wartales is really one of them games that comes out every once in a while that really manages to get the job done. It just ends up being such a satisfying game when it's all said and done. Now let's get down to it. This game is a game that just released out of early access. Now this game was in early access for about 2 years, and I was keeping my eye on it, so I couldn't wait till it released in early access so I could get to play it. Now I'm gonna give you a quick comparison of what type of game this is. This is an open world RPG game with some strategy elements. If I was gonna give some comparisons to other games, I would say the world and the setting is medieval, so it has that Kingdom Come Deliverance vibe, real similar to that. When it comes to the combat in the game, it's a tactical strategy game, so it has that XCOM feel to it when it comes to the combat. You know, the way the XCOM characters move around and attack each other. And now when it comes to the open world aspects, the way you move around the map, it really does have an old school tabletop RPG style to it. And it also feels like Bannerlord. If you ever played the Warband series, the Mountain Blade series at all, Warband or Bannerlord, it definitely has that feel when it comes to the open world map. And those are three of my favorite games, as well as favorite genres to play. Open world RPG, medieval setting, tactical strategy combat, as well as like an old school tabletop RPG open world map. Real dope. Now, as far as this game is concerned, it was developed by Shiro Games. These guys are real good at tactical games. They actually made a strategy game called Northgard, as well as Dune Spice Wars. They're currently developing that game. That's another real-time strategy 4X style game. Now, I'm going to just read a quick insert of what these developers put on Steam explaining the game. Real quick. It says, Wartales is an open-world RPG in which you lead a group of mercenaries in their search for wealth across a massive medieval universe. Explore the world, recruit companions, collect bounties, and unravel the secrets of the tombs of the ancient. Now, right there, off the back, that's just our cup of tea. Now, all of the things I explained about this game, the comparisons, that's just up our alley when it comes to the type of games we like to play on this channel. So without further ado, let's get right down to some gameplay. All right. We finally did it. We got our companions here. We starting off with Wham Size the Brave. We have Lurcy Canister. We also have our boy Revelus the Eighth, named after the famous Revelus Nogard. And we have Sulius Caesar. Yeah, not to be confused with Julius Caesar. These are our companions. This is what we're going to roll out with, our mercenary band. Let's go. Our boy Wham Size the Brave. Wham Size the Brave. Alright, first off, Wham Size the Brave is going to go with, I think he's going to end up with, what type of starting weapon we're going to start him with? Oh, he's going giant axe. Yeah. Should we do taunt? No, we don't want to do taunt. We want to do wrath with him and axe. Giant axe. Two-handed, yeah. Now, as far as the traits go, you can select, you don't have to select anything. You can select a random trait for your first one, or you can select no trait. Or you can select one of these, like bloodthirsty, brawny, +5 constitution, strong, plus some strength, dexterity, hardworking, all of these things. I want this guy to be mainly strength, so we're going to go with a strong man, 5% strength increase. Now, if we select a second positive trait, we don't have to. We can select the second positive trait. I'm mostly going to give him brawny to increase his constitution. But now, as you can see, since we picked 2 positive traits, just like the previous interaction, we have to pick a negative trait. We have to. So I'm going to go with, you can go with glutton, +1 food per day. You can go with pickpocket, costs an extra $3 in wages. Lazy, that means he gains less professional experience. You can have him be stupid. That means he gains less experience overall. Unlucky, critical hit reduction. Loafer, carry capacity reduced by 3. Willpower reduced by 2. Drunkard means he has to have at least 1 alcohol with every meal. I'll explain that later. I'm actually going to go with Loafer because we can mitigate the carry capacity pretty easily. So this is our guy, Wham Size the Brave. Let's go. The total opposite of Samwise the Brave, by the way. Let's move on to Lurcy Canister. Not to be confused with Cersei Lannister. Let's actually, she can't change her starting weapon, but we can change her to first aid. Heals a dying ally for 10% of their max health. And dying is another mechanic I'll explain. Removes all stacks of poison, bleeding, and burning. You get poisoned a lot in this game, especially early on. We're going to start her with crit, bloodthirsty. Now, I normally wouldn't give this person an extra trait, but you know what we are going to do? It's worth it to give movement to her. Now, again, we could just pick carry capacity for everybody, but I'm going to make this a lot more interesting. I'm going to make her be a pickpocket and just have her be slightly more expensive than everybody else. And that's good. Now let's go over to Revelus the 8th. He was actually named after Revelus Nogard and all of the great Revelists that ever appeared throughout history. We're going to give him dexterity because he's crit chance. He's like it says ranger, but he's really like an assassin class. For his utility, we're going to go with wrath as well. He has a stab ability, and we're going to also give him something like nimble. Increased dexterity, and we're going to have him be a drunk. Now actually, I'm actually going to go back to our other character. I forget that she needs to have dexterity 100%, so we're going to go nimble here too as well. Now let's go to Sulius Geezer. He's going to have the taunt ability. This is real good. It forces people to engage him. That's very useful. And we're also going to give him, we want him to have constitution and thick skin for more guard. And we're going to actually make him more of a loafer. Well, you know what? I'll just make him lazy. I don't want to have all the same negative traits. I want it to be kind of balanced in that way to start it off. So we all got different negative traits instead of just everybody being just a loafer, and we can mitigate that immediately. So there we go. This is our starting party. Wham Size the Brave, Lurcy Canister, Revelus the 8th, and Sulius Geezer. Let's start it up. A century has passed since the fall of the Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. Now, the land is rife with mercenary work, banditry, and thievery, with honor having become an almost forgotten virtue. Now, prepare to lead a group of unscrupulous characters in a massive open world where combat, death, and a thirst for riches will dictate your day-to-day life. You are not the hero of this story, destined to usher in a new era of peace. Your goal is to solely survive and thrive in this harsh and hostile world by any means necessary. All right. That little recap was kind of dope. That little recap and intro to the series was kind of dope. Now we actually have a little bit of a story beat right here. Let's get into it. Enough is enough. After bearing that horrible captain's abuse for far too long, your companions can finally enjoy their well-deserved freedom. Although, deserters are never a welcome sight, be it for their former colleagues or the locals who regard them as traitors for some reason. They will need to keep their head down while still making a living. Now, real quick, I'm going to pause this as soon as we come in because this is a real-time game. A lot of things on the overworld map happen in real time. We can just check the map real quick, but I want to pause it so things aren't moving. Like, for instance, these are a group of enemies right here, and there's some people moving around over here. I just want to explain the interface in the UI real quick, and I'll go over things as we keep moving, but I just want to give a brief explanation of what we're looking at real quick. We have over here, this is our companions tab. We have 5 companions. That's our 4 companions we start with, and our pony is actually considered a companion, so keep that in mind. That's one thing. We have our knowledge. This is another form of experience, but this basically uncovers, you actually gain knowledge by exploring things, gaining blueprints and things like that. We'll explain that a lot later. This is your knowledge meter. Every time you get 100 knowledge, you get 1 knowledge point, and you get to use your knowledge point as a resource. This right here is the progression of this region. This game has several different regions, as we just seen with how we selected that each region is going to be a different level. Each region has its own storyline, and you progress through that region storyline until you complete it for 100%, and then you can go to the next region. Pretty dope. This is our suspicion level, or basically the wanted level. When you reach 100 suspicion, you end up getting a 1 wanted star up into 5 stars, and the guards will attack you. You'll get hunted down. You'll get put in prison, all types of stuff. But for now, we're at 50. We start with 50 wanted level, and this goes down over time gradually. You can get some perks and things to make this go down faster. But as of now, it's going to go down real slow. So we want to try to stay away from town guards, village guards, and away from any type of authority because they will try to lock us up and take our money. Now, over here is our happiness meter. Kind of self-explanatory. This is our influence. Is another resource we use, very similar to gold. Very similar to gold, and you get a lot of this from doing quests, talking to people. You can use it for conversations and dialogue as well, but it's very similar to like a currency resource. Valor points is a combat specific resource. We use this mainly in combat to activate our special abilities. Then we have our hunger. We have 72 pieces of food in stock. We consume 18 food a day. That gives us 4 days worth of hunger. That's another reason why I paused it, because the days do tick down. And we have 200 gold here. Perfect. Now we have the camp menu, the inventory, we have our world map, our compendium, and our paths. I'll explain all of that stuff later, but quick reference, M for map, I for inventory. As you can see, we start with 12 bread, 12 apples, and 5 medicine, and 30 pieces of raw materials, all of which is very important. I'll explain that stuff later. We can't camp just yet, but I'll show you that later, and as well as the compendium, how to get passive abilities and stuff like that. So right off the back, let's go ahead to this resource right here. Now, if you look at the overworld map, you can't really zoom in that much. This is as far as you can zoom in, and this is as far as you can zoom out. So you want to pay attention to what's going on the map. You're going to see these resource nodes. You can just click it, walk over to it, and it'll pick it right up. But this map is very similar to things like Warband or Mountain Blade. When you walk around the map, it has that feel to it. So off the back, let's just go collect this resource, and we're going to get ambushed by a group of bandits. So let's just be prepared for that. Let's unpause it and walk towards this resource real quick. And there you can see our mercenary band moving along. Now, as you can see, we just collected 4 iron there, and we are getting ambushed by these bandits. So let's take them on. Here we go. Level 1 bandits. There's 1 hoodlum and 1 poacher. Let's fight. Now, I like the way this combat is broken down. As you know, in XCOM and in other games, you know, the order in which you attack is kind of set. You can't really, there's not too much variation in that. I'm explaining how this one works. When your turn comes, play any unit you haven't used yet in the round. You can find out which enemy will come into play. Prepare your strategy. Now, this basically means if you look at here, this is the turn order. Now, instead of just dividing it up like, all right, this guy has high speed, so he goes first, and he goes second, and he goes third, and he goes fourth. What they actually do is any two of our units can move or attack first, and then the enemy goes. The enemy's turn order are always set in stone. So you're always going to know which enemy attacks at what time. Now, on the contrary, we can select any of our companions to attack anytime our attack phase up. So this basically means we get 2 attack phases with any character, then this guy attacks. 2 more attack phases with any character that haven't attacked already, then this guy attacks. And then the turn starts over and we start from scratch. Now, additionally, they don't say this or explain this at all, but when the match starts, before you move, you're going to see these icons over the place. These square icons. These are basically positions you can put your people in. The enemy's positions are fixed. They're not going to change their positions as the match start. But this is basically the setup phase. So what we want to do, we can move our characters around. Like we can move this guy there. We can swap these people. We can move our archer up. We can move our archer back. And it's good to search the battlefield because there'll be hidden little spots like all over the place that you could hide. We could, move our archer over here on the flank. We can swap them. We can do a whole bunch of stuff, right? All of this is before the first combat takes place. Now, very important. You can also click somebody's. Okay, this guy can move that far. Let's click this guy. Oh, he can move that far, but he can't quite get there. Let's see if we can put somebody over there with a little bit more movement. Right? Oh, this person can't reach that dude either. So what about this guy? Oh, can't reach. Now, I did add somebody. Well, this is why it was good to add movement. As you can see, she moves even, closer. So the best thing to do is to put somebody that can reach this person eventually. Now, first thing first, the way to explain this is the first turn does not start until you move. You have to move your first character. Once you move your first character, no matter which character you pick, you can no longer change your positions. It's locked in stone. Now, I really wish they did a pre-battle phase. You confirmed it, and then they just went into the battle phase, because that can get confusing and it can catch you off guard a lot. So be sure that you don't actually move because look, I can actually click the move, right? And just say, nah, I don't want to move. I don't even want him there. And since I didn't actually confirm that move, I'm still in the setup phase. They don't never explain that, and it took me a little minute to figure that out. But that's still cool. Now, we're going to actually go ahead with this. So first things first, let's move forward, engage. And what we're going to do is the stab attack. Pretty good. All right, when you perform a melee attack on a free enemy, you engage them. An engaged unit can only attack their engaged opponent and has a higher chance of taking critical damage. Take advantage of this with your other units. An engaged unit is exposing their back, attack from behind to get a bonus. Now, what that basically means, since he attacked him, this guy can attack nobody else other than this guy because they are engaged in battle. He can't decide to, all right, whatever, I want to go attack this guy or I want to go attack the archer. No. He would have to disengage, which would give me an attack of opportunity, which deals 100% of my strength or dexterity. So you don't want to get an opportunity attack, just like in XCOM or anything like that. It's like an attack of opportunity, just like in Divinity Original Sin or stuff like that. So if we engage a unit, it's real good because they'll be locked in combat with that unit. Now, subsequently, we can also just select somebody else and move behind this. Well, first of all, let's select this dude to end our turn. Now, again, it's our turn again. We could select any character. I'm going to select this guy, the Brute. Let's put him behind him because like they just said, if you put somebody behind somebody, it gets a bonus in its attack. Now, as you can see, I can just automatically attack him from the rear, and I do a cleaving motion with this attack. Anything inside this red circle or half circle will get attacked, even friendly units. So I have to be careful about that. Yeah, I can hit multiple enemy units, but you can also mess up and hit your other friends if you don't be careful. But we good. We got the bonus damage and everything. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to move out the way here. And I'll show you why in a minute. Now, even though I attacked with this guy, he's still engaged to him. And he can only attack this guy. You can see the arrow. And I love the fact that, you know, while they just standing around, they're actually dueling. They're not just standing still looking crazy like in XCOM. I like that a lot. And I'm not dunking on XCOM either. It's just a great comparison. Alright, 6 damage and he poisoned me. So I'm poisoned. Now what I'm going to do with this person, I'm going to do something interesting. This is going to be a little interesting strategy. Let's see. Oh wait, we still have more attacks left. I'm sorry. Let's get this attacks off real quick. Another mechanic I'm about to show you guys. When there's 3 or more people surrounding one person, they get this surrounded engagement. So if there's 3 people connected or surrounding one person, it does extra damage. I get a damage bonus. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to force the target to engage me instead of my other guy. So now he'll have to attack me and he won't be able to get through my armor. So now I made his attack weak. And you see, he's engaged me now, not this guy. So this guy can move freely now. He can freely move. Now the archers are very interesting. Let's show you. Let me show you how these archers work. With the archers, you want to make sure you have a direct line to the person you're targeting. You don't want to be anywhere near the guy you don't want your line of arrow to be anywhere near your people, because there's going to be a percentage chance that you can hit your enemies, your friends, with friendly fire. So you got to be real careful with how you line your archer up, because these arrows do go off course and you can hit your companions and then they're going to be mad at you. They're actually going to not like you. If this person hits that person with an arrow, they're not going to get along. And that's going to cause troubles inside the campsite and all over the place. So let's just hit the... But as we can see, if you look at the percentage, there's a 100% chance for us to hit this target. So let's hit it. And we can end our turn. I wanted to avoid this person getting attacked again, but it is what it is. Alright, Lurcy Canister actually has a way to stop this poison damage, so I might do that. But first, let's see if we can close the distance. I'm going to go there. Now, once we engage this archer, the archer can't attack anybody else but this guy. Even though he has an arrow, he can turn this way. No. He's going to have to attack me. And since he can't use his arrow, he's going to have to attack me in melee. And he's not going to do any damage. So that's good. Let's skip that turn. Let's move our brute in. We have to be careful that we don't hit our own guy. Ooh, and bleeding. Oh, that's nasty. Yes. Oh, we could have used our skill and got an extra hit in and used up another valor point, but we'll save that valor point. What we're actually going to do is let's go to her. Well, let's move forward a bit. No, you know what? We're not going to waste the valor point. We're not going to waste the valor point. I do want to show you something though. As you can see, oh, we're not in range. So cool. Okay. Oh, we're out of range. As you can see, he only did 1 damage because he has to attack with a punch. He can't use his bow. So there we go. Good stuff. I'm going to get this kill here with Revless. Let's go, Rev. We get the surround bonus. Let's get the kill. There we go, our first victory. Now, we have all of the loot. They have a poisonous dagger, 10 gold, and human remains. Now, we could take these human remains and carry them around. We can't sell them, but there's a reason why you can take human remains, because they allow you to be a cannibal in this game. You see how we have food? We could actually eat the human remains for food, believe it or not. It's weird, but yeah. Repair all. It's going to take up 2 raw materials. We have a level up too, and we're going to continue. Oh, no. We're going to loot everything first. Loot all. Now let's continue. Now, we're not going to do like a cannibal run or nothing like that, so you don't got to worry. Let's go to our dude and level him up. Sulius Jeezer. Our boy Sulius Jeezer, boy. All right, let's go, Sulius. All right, now Sulius gets his first big major decision. He can get Protector. This unit allows him to gain area protection for 2 turns. Damage taken reduced by 20. Encouragement reduced by 30%. Real good. We have this destabilizing strike. What this does is reduces somebody guard to 0. Basically makes somebody that's supposed to be a tank very vulnerable. And he also gets the ability to wear heavy armor with this, heavy armor with that. That's very important as well. Heavy armor is pretty good. Then we have this, medium armor, but he also gets Sword Master here. Deals 5 damage to all the units in an area, and he gets to use it 2 times in a row. So this is a very, very, very powerful ability, but it costs us 2. But since he's our protector, let's keep him with the protecting ability. So now he's going to protect everybody and make sure they get a bonus to their defense. Now, action points. Let me explain how this works. Every single time you level up, the game is going to randomly roll 3 attributes to raise by 1 point. Now, the game every time is going to be random, so there's no way to determine which you're going to end up getting. Now, the game decided to give me a point in strength, constitution, and movement, but you can see constitution has two pluses. So the way this is going to work, every single time you level up is going to give you 1 point in a random skill, another point in another random skill, and then the third skill is going to have 2 points. Now this is the decision we're going to have to make. Now let's say we really needed strength and we wasn't building a character that needs constitution. It may be better to take the strength here. Even though we only get +1, it may be better because our character is built that way. So we could end up with dexterity, which is completely useless, you know, but it might be 2 upgrades in 1. So there's some give and take there. You might want to say like, hey, maybe I want to take the movement because this guy is real slow on the battlefield. But we got super, super duper lucky because our character specifically, his job is constitution and to be a tank. So we basically rolled the best skill possible for a tank. Double constitution. See, he gets 2 level ups instead of 1. Perfect. We're going to select this. Now there's a way to mitigate that slightly and boost other ones up to 2. Spin and influence, but we'll get into that later. And there we go. Sulius Jeezer leveled up. All right, now let's continue with the quest. And speaking of quest, this game does have a storyline and things like that, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. All right, we're here at the stables. Now, I love the way this works. Now, as you can see, this gives me that real tabletop RPG feel when I'm here. Because a lot of this stuff is stagnant. We can't see our character, but we can press Alt and it highlights things you can interact with. And we can talk to the people at these locations. Let's speak with this lady.
Although the war in Edoran has been a boon for my business, I cannot help but feel for my poor ponies. I can tell you aren't soldiers. Take them with you if you can. Otherwise, they would most likely end up dead on the battlefield through no fault of their own.
Aw. Alright, let's talk to this guy.
When I think of how many people don't shoe their ponies, it makes me want to pull out the little hair I have left. Tell you what, buy a horse from us, and I'll throw in the horseshoes for free.
Now horseshoes are horse equipment. If we check our pony real quick, the one we have already, he's carrying a saddlebag. This gives him +10 carry capacity. pretty good. Makes us be able to carry more stuff. But this gives us plus 3% world map speed. And since this is a real-time game, you want to move as fast as possible on the world map to get from point A to point B faster. And you can get chased by enemies. And if we don't want to fight, we want the ability to run away and move as fast as possible. So this is a very good thing. And like he said, if we buy a horse, we get the horseshoe for free. And the horseshoe is $50. So off the rip, we can say we get a $50 discount on the horse. If we want to look at it like that, we can. So let's leave for now. Now, that's actually a quest. If we check these ponies out, let's just take a quick look at them. And these horses are definitely random, by the way. The last time I came in here, I think they were definitely different horses. As you can see, they have their own random stats. And they do start with two random traits as well. Must consume meat or fish every meal to be satisfied. Oh, I don't like this one. I don't want anything that has something that's tough to keep up. Bloodthirsty and depressed. Willpower reduced by 2. I'm not worried about these type of stats because it's not going to be like a combat horse or nothing. It's going to be a horse just for speed. Now, if I take a look over here, he's pretty good. And let's see how much he costs. This one has no traits. Oh, so this one is probably better with 0 traits. Because we don't need the extra crit, but not having any deductions is pretty good. But let's look at it. He can carry 53. 53, 6 food, 0 daily wages. I like this horse right here. The first one. But let's inspect it. No, let's talk to him. This horse is 180 gold. 180 gold. Insane. And we're going to buy it. Now we have 30 gold to our name. Let's talk to this guy now.
Please accept these horseshoes. But for the eye's sake, use them on your new steed.
All right, I got you. All right, we just completed our first quest. Now let's go to our inventory real quick. If we click on our companions, there go our horse. Our new horse is right there. We can actually inspect it and put the horseshoes right on them. And there we go. We already increased our map movement speed and we increased our carry capacity. It was a double. It was real good. Real good. 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's go back into the stables real quick. I didn't want to leave. Now, I shouldn't do this because we have 48 wanted, but I want to show you another mechanic real quick. If we go into this place, as you can see, we have items here that we can steal. We have salt and wheat. Now, if we decide to steal these, well, we don't have a... We actually just learned the thief profession. Now, we could actually make somebody our thief. We're going to make Lurcy Canister. Lurcy Canister is going to be our thief. Now, as you can see, we're going to get anywhere from 20 to 35 suspicion level taking this stuff. But it's random. Let's do it. Now, I'm not going to do a thieving playthrough. Ooh, 35. That's 82 suspicion. I'm not going to do a thieving playthrough, but I am going to do this just to show you the mechanic. And as you can see, this guy is none the wiser. It's not like Skyrim or nothing where you got to hide and sneak before you steal something. He doesn't know we stole it, but we automatically do get 1 to level. So we don't want to get caught out there and get ran down on by some guards because we'll be in trouble. All right, now we did that. Let's inspect this thing here. See what this is. Ah, some cloth. Let's take it. Now, when you start this game, you probably want to head up here to this town immediately. But let me see. Let me check. Let me check the map. Yeah, I'm going to head to the town because the simple fact I don't want to walk around the roads because I might get ambushed by guards. So let's head to the town first and foremost. Storm cap. Now let's get to these traits real quick. Before we even go do anything in the town, I want to explain something real quick. That thief trait, you start the game, everybody starts the game with the Tinkerer trait. Every single person. So we can just equip the Tinkerer to everybody for now that doesn't have a trait. And as you can see, these traits give you passive bonuses. The Tinkerer gives everybody plus 2% crit chance. So if they don't have a trait, just automatically equip them with Tinkerer. Now, she's going to have Thief. She's going to remain our Thief because you can't steal things unless you have somebody with the Thief profession. Now, she can steal items and pick locks. It gives her +1 dexterity. And as she level up her Thief skill, she'll level up her passive dexterity. So that's great. We're going to explain this profession system a lot better later. But for now, general rule of thumb, when you get a new profession that benefits your character, equip it to them. Now, the first building we were going to go into inside this town is going to be the Forge. Let's go take a look. Now, we came into the Forge. Let's click the Forge. As you can see, we just unlocked the blacksmithing profession. The way you unlock professions in this game is basically go try to do the thing like fish, blacksmith, craft, steal something, and it'll give you that profession for you to equip to your companions. Now, if we check this out, he's not going to be a tinkerer, he's going to be a blacksmith. And as you can see, he gets +1 strength for his blacksmith, and we're going to keep him as a blacksmith too. And if we want to forge some things, we can. Let's just see. Select our blacksmith, and there we go. We can forge things. A bunch of weapons and stuff like that. We don't have any supplies though. Now let's speak with this guy.
You can use my anvil. I can also repair your armor. Oh, and I'm looking to hire a skilled blacksmith, if you happen to know one.
Oh, good stuff. Now we can buy raw materials from him to repair our items and heal up our armor, or he can repair it for us for an amount of gold. So you can decide whether or not you want to spend gold. Now it's 5 per repair per raw material. It's going to be cheaper to come to him and have him do it for gold. It's going to ultimately be cheaper. So if you can come back to town and have him repair your stuff and buy some raw materials for when you out on the road, that'll end up being cheap in the long run. Now, there's nothing else we can do here. We can press Alt, and these are the only 2 things we can interact with here. So we could actually just leave. We got what we wanted from this location. We just wanted to go get that profession real quick. Now, the second location we're going to go to is we're going to go to the apothecary clinic. Now, in this clinic, we have the person that runs the clinic. Let's talk to them.
My concoctions can heal the most grievous injuries. Be sure to hold on to the vials after using them.
Now, just like the blacksmith, this person can heal your party members cheaper than it costs to actually buy the medicine. These are 39 gold per one, and the canisters are 10 per canister, and you can craft your own medicine. But for now, you can actually pay her. It's going to be cheaper than 35 or cheaper than 20. So it's probably best to come and use her for a while until you can craft your own stuff. But we didn't come here for that. We actually came here for this profession, the alchemist. As soon as you click the alchemist table, it allows you to, select an alchemist now. And we're going to make Sulius our alchemist. Alright, Sulius. You're the alchemist. For now. We're going to switch it later, but for now, he's the alchemist. Now, look, everybody has the correct skill. He has crit. He has, well, we can see what the alchemist gives him. Dexterity. We're going to change that, though. Or we don't need to even put it that. We could just give him strength for now. And we'll have him he'll stay with the tinkerer for now. And there we go. Oh, another thing we can do, we can actually give our boy Revelus a new dagger. The dexterity goes up, and it actually gives him a new move. Poisoning instead of just the stab ability. This comes with the stab ability. 6 to 8 damage. This comes with the poisoning ability. 6 to 8 damage plus applies 1 damage of poison. Yep. Real good. Now we can exit. Another thing we have to go over, as you can see, we just discovered 2 locations and we gained enough learning points to get 1 knowledge. We gained enough knowledge to gain 1 knowledge point. So if we click the knowledge points, we can learn things now. The first skill I like to learn, these are passive or they can be active skills. As you can see, this one, your companions are now more sensible and ration their food. 3 less food, pretty good. Career plan, all of this stuff does different things. But the first one I want to get is run. It allows us to sprint for short periods of time while we're on the world map. Very important. Always should be the first thing you get is run. Then we can even do endurance training later. But yeah, these compendiums is how you learn new recipes and unlock things. We'll go over this stuff later. But the first one you want to focus on is the knowledge tree. We're going to purchase run. Now when we press shift while we're walking, we'll run around instead of just walking regular. Another thing we can do, you can head to the market. You can purchase food, talk to her, purchase food. You can talk to this person, see what he has to say.
Come, come. Take a look at my wares.
Yes, he sells a bunch of different goods. This is a caravan person, probably.
Please, can you spare some food?
Now, we can give this person 1 bread. We'll get 10 of these resources. The influence, let's do it. Even though bread is very, very, very good, I'm still going to do it.
Thank you so much. I will pray for you.
There we go. 10 influence for 1 bread.
For a few crowns, I can polish your armor. Please. I'm so hungry.
10 crowns? I don't think we can afford that, my man. And this lady sells food.
You touch it, you buy it.
Vegetables. Now, salt is real good. Because, you know, we can cook with salt, but we don't know how to cook yet. Unless this guy sells the meats.
Those refugees.
There you go.
I understand there's a war in Edoran, but that doesn't mean they can just help themselves.
Now, look, we can steal this stuff and just get more suspicion, but now we're not going to do that. First thing first, let's leave. Now, there's another thing we can do in town. Let's go to the inn real quick. Now when we get to the inn, there's a few things we can do here. The first thing is, this is how you get more companions. The 3 people standing up, the one person standing up, the 2 people sitting down are your companions that you can recruit. We can expect them. This guy is a level 1 ranger. He has these skills and he has these traits. These attributes. This person, another ranger. Oh, this is the same person. Oh, we have an archer here with first aid, strong, and volunteer. Oh, this is a good person. This person is 10% reduced wages and strength increase. Pretty good. Pretty good. And she comes automatically as an alchemist. Pretty good, even though we can change that. Now, this person, let's see what he is. We got another brute. Pretty good. A brute with a 2-handed hammer. He has quick and hard working. 20% more from his professional skills. He's pretty good. But now, look how much they cost, though.
Nothing scares me, and I'm a quick learner. You won't find a better companion.
See, they're 40 influence. We have the 40 influence, but we don't have the 80 gold because we actually spent our gold. Man, oh man. Sad. Now, a few other people we can talk to. We can talk to the innkeeper.
Say, it's not often you see new faces around here. Well, apart from the Edoranian war refugees, that is.
I'm actually going to buy one of these, alcohol, because as you know, our companion needs alcohol. He's a drunk, so we actually have to buy 2 of these so we can actually gain happiness when we sleep. So I'll actually buy 2 of those.
Feel free to come back often. There's always folk looking for work around here, especially since all the fighting started across the border.
We can always rest to recuperate 3 of our resource points, our valor points. But we're good. Let's leave. Another thing we can do here is speak with the informant.
You. Yeah, you. You looking for work? I can give you tips and point you toward the best missions. The kind that pays much better than the measly rewards the mercenary guild has to offer.
Alright. The informant.
Of course. You'll then have to meet the client and meddle in other people's affairs. But at the end of the day, it's the number of crowns in your purse that counts, right?
Yep. Alright, now this guy, what he initially does, he's selling quests initially that you have to pay influence for. But let me explain these quests real quick.
You. Yeah, you. You're looking for work? Of course. You'll then have to meet the client.
This guy
in other people's affairs. But at the end of the day, it's the number of crowns in your purse that counts, right?
All right, now the way these works, each of these clues or piece of information is 50 influence. Now, these are quests scattered throughout this region. It took me a while to figure this out, but these are actually the locations to the main storyline quests of this region. So each of these will take you directly to, it will show it on the map, where you need to go for the story locations. And as you, the thing is, you don't have to purchase these. If we just press the map real quick, as you explore, you will eventually run across these places anyway. So you don't have to purchase these from this dude, but you can. Let's say you don't know where this stuff is at. You never played the game before. You have the influence built up. You know what? Cool. I'll pay for it and find it. But another thing, if you do find it out in a while, let's say we find this mission and complete it, he's not going to be selling it anymore. So there you go. There's 4 missions total that you can find in the open world, and there's 1 final scenario. So I think that's going to give you a full 100% over here. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. We're not going to buy any missions from him. We can't even afford it. Now, the missions we are going to get is these missions, the emissary. Let's talk to her.
Might you be looking for work? Our role as emissaries is to ensure that all service requests are fulfilled. We regularly update our job offers.
All right, let's review the job offers. All right. These are bounties. Now, this is very interesting because it gives you a brief explanation of the actual quest or bounty, the contract. It can be a bounty, it can be something else. It gives you the level of difficulty, the amount of money you're going to get, and it gives you a general direction of where it's at. So you can do a lot of good coordinating. I love this feature because it's like, all right, we want to take this one, right? It's going to be to the east. So maybe if we have another quest that's sending us east, we could take that as well. And there you go. This one is sending us southeast. This one is sending us east. These contracts are completely random and they reload every day. So you might not see this when you play for the first time, because I didn't see these last time I played. So what I'm saying, these jobs are going to be random, but they're going to cycle in and out. So you might eventually see this one. If you don't see it at first, you might see it another day or 2 from now. But what we're going to do, we're going to accept both of these quests, and you don't have to pay to accept them. You just accept them. And it gives us a location right on the map. There we go. It tells us exactly where to go. Not a lot of confusion there. And let's also take this other easy quest. And as you can see, that one is actually close. If we look at the world map, this group of refugees is right here, literally where we just came from. We started right here. We can go right back and scoop up that 180 gold real quick. And we can possibly even get another companion. Huh? All right, let's head out. Now, we still have to be careful. We are still a wanted man. But now we can sprint, so we could probably outrun the sheriffs. And there they go. No. Yeah, we don't want the sheriffs to be next to us. Let's try to run past them. All right, good. We avoided them. These are the sheriffs or the, you know, the law, if they catch you, they're going to make you pay a ransom to get free, or they're going to take you to prison. We don't want neither of those things to happen. Let's actually run back and get this resource. All right, now let's run down the hill. It got real foggy. I love the weather effects in this game. It gets real immersive. Even though we're zoomed out, it still gets real immersive. And there are our targets right there. Looks like these are our targets. Oh, the salt mines, actually. Let's go into...
Where's them refugees? We'll toss them out ourselves. We'll toss them all out. Yeah, I've been drinking. We all have. How'd you know? You seers or something? Never mind. Leave us be. We've got refugees to clear out of Tiltron.
Alright, this is hilarious. We can give them wine and we'll get influence, or we can just attack them and get leather. We're supposed to settle this, so I think we have to attack them. Let's do it. She has 1 foot soldier, 1 failing soldier, and herself. Let's go. And this is attached to the reward, as you can see. We just had to settle this. We could have did it with alcohol, but we're going to fight. Alright, just like before. But with this, I'm actually going to swap these two. Because he has the AoE attack. I actually want him to move in and get an AoE off to start this. And they don't have... Good. I'm going to engage their failing soldier after that. And then we'll go from there. But we're going to start it off with him. Let's go, Wham Size the Brave. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the cleave off, but I'm still going to try. Yeah, they're too far apart. Yeah, I'm going to try, though. Let's see. Nah, nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Alright, well. Since I can't get the cleave off, I'll get the engage. And I'll go after the more heavily armored dude to set it off. And you can go after this guy. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. You engage this guy. Because he's another heavily armored guy. Yeah, 25. Yeah. Yeah. And we'll go protection for 2 turns. And we'll attack. Alright, now we'll engage the Phalanx Warrior so he can't move and try and disrupt what we got going on here. Stab him with poison. Good stuff. That protection worked out. Let's move. We want to be directly on the same plane as this dude. We don't want to hit our people. Good shot. Now, Phalanx Warriors with spears, they do way less damage up close. So, it's good to engage them early. Alright, what we're going to do here, we're going to focus down this dude, actually. Because we want to get this kill. Alright. He's going to die from the poison. That's good. Let's move. All right, you have to attack this dude. Let's go. All right, that poison stack. Let's go. All right, let's attack here. Now we're gonna go try to attack from behind in a minute. Broke our armor. Okay. All right, good. Got his armor. All right, get behind this guy. Oh, we can't get behind him. Okay. All right, now it's going to be hard to hit these dudes with our archer without hitting somebody we know. Let me see. Oh, I can hit him directly, not him. See, if I try to hit him, there's a 20% chance I'm going to hit my own guy. So I wouldn't take that shot. I would only take this 100% right here. And he would have died to the poison, but we killed him anyway. And look, they want to flee, but we're not going to let them flee. We want more loot, so we're going to keep fighting. Now, you might want to let them flee if we had somebody that was about to die or something. Not cool. All right, let's get us around here. Revelous unlock the trait Glorious. Alright, our group is overtired. Your companions might die of exhaustion if you keep walking. You really should rest. Let's continue. Now we can repair all of our armors that got broken. For 3 raw materials, yes. And we got all of this loot. Look at that. We ended up getting heavy armor. Yes. A buckler, a shield, and some wine. Let's loot all. We could take their corpses, but we're not going to do that. Now, real quick, before we do anything else, let's head into the salt mines.
Stop right there. This salt mine belongs to her ladyship Gontran. I can't just let you walk in.
All right, now we could pay this guy to let us walk in and be like, yo, get out of my face. We can threaten him, just have our wanted go straight up. Or we can persuade him with 20 influence. See, we can use this influence for dialogue options too. We're going to spend the influence here. Let's go.
As you wish. We can't mine the salt because of these 2 iron veins anyway. I really don't understand why you were so keen to go in there.
Okay. Good. Now let's go over to the iron ore. Now as soon as we select it, we get the miner profession. Dope. Let's go. Now we can switch our dude properly. Now Sulius Jeezer, he can be our miner and get the constitution he deserves. He's going to be our miner for a little while, and let's go mining. Sulius Jeezer. Now a little mini game is going to pop up when you do mining and fishing, so we got to pay attention to that. It's pretty easy though. I say that as we almost fail every time. We only got 4 iron and 4 XP for that. Not bad, not bad. Now let's go to the other iron block. Iron ore. 6 iron ore, 6 XP. And we could search the sack too. We could steal this. Let's see. How much we gonna get for stealing this? That's a lot of salt. 35. We could risk going over the limit, so we can't steal this yet. We might come back for that. You know what? I said I wasn't gonna do a stealing run, so I don't think I'm gonna steal it. Let's not steal it.
You cleared out the iron deposits? Well done. We can get back to work.
Now look. We actually did a hidden quest for this guy. He didn't tell us to clear out the iron, but since we did it, we completed a quest, and he's going to give us a reward. And what do you know? It's the 20 influence that we just gave him back. So it does kind of help to be a good guy sometimes. You know what I mean? And just help the small folk out. Now let's go to Revelers and level him up. My dude Rev. Yes, and we got super lucky again. Double dexterity. Don't mind if I do. Now we're going to give him, every time he kills an enemy unit, I gain 1 valor point. Because he's an assassin. He's going to be getting a lot of kills. Yeah. Our boy Sulius Jesus. Yeah. Look at him. Let's go, Sulius. Yeah. Look at your boy Sulius Jesus. Alright, he's doing his thing. Alright. We good. Alright, now that we've finished that, let's actually camp real quick before these people come. Alright, you can rest at a campfire, and your camp feeds your troop and pay their wages to avoid unrest. Resting refills your fatigue meter, restores valor points, and speeds up time. Now, this is our fatigue meter. The more we walk around and do stuff, our fatigue goes down as the time of day ticks down. Now, when you're in your camp, there's a few things you can do. You can place people at certain spots. Everybody's now placed at the campfire. As you can see, at the campfire icon, it says 4 out of 4 next to the carry capacity. But let's finish it. Let's take our tinkerer and let's place him over at this table. You see it say 1 out of 1? Now, he's currently working at the table. If we look at this workshop, it says if we have a assigned tinkerer, it produces 2 raw materials every time we rest. That's dope. Now let's go into this place, into the workshop. And there's some things we can craft. Off the rip, we can craft a chest. Pretty interesting. We can store stuff. A cooking pot. Pretty damn interesting. A hitching post or another tent. Real good. Or we can craft lockpicks, which I'm going to do. I'm actually going to craft myself 2 lockpicks. There we go. We can also craft fish hooks. I'm going to craft 1 fish hook. There we go. We just gained another learning point. Now let's go into our compendium. Now we got another learning point. One of the first learning things, the next thing I'm going to learn is endurance training. Bonus movement speed. Let's go again. And we're going to go career plans. This perk is going to make it so we can spend influence to raise the amount of aptitude we get by 1. We can basically spend this resource to make it so that we can pick any skill we want to level up. We don't have to go with what they selected randomly. Like, for instance, if we go to his aptitude, let's say they select 1 crit, 1 willpower, and 1 strength. I mean, they select 2 movement, 1 strength, and 1 willpower. We can actually say, no. We want 2 strength and invest some influence in that. I'll show that later when it comes up. There we go. We spent our learning points. Pretty good. Now that we did everything we had to do in camp, we crafted everything we could possibly craft right now. We got our fishing hook, everything like that. We can actually rest now. Now, when you rest, we have to do food. First thing first. Let's add some of this. And as you can see, we also need 1 alcohol or our guy's not going to be happy. We want to save that wine in case we get down on happiness. Now, one thing about the wine, we do end up with 1 extra food. It's not too much of a big deal. We don't have to pay wages. We could just rest. Ah, there we go. Our happiness went up. Everything. And we gained some raw materials. And we gained +2 of these resources. And there we go. We could actually leave the camp now. We don't need to do anything else here. And our wanted level went down a bit. Oh, yes, they're going back the other way. Great. They're not going to harass us. Now, there is another thing I want to do before we continue. There's some resources over here, but we're not going to pay that much mind. We just discovered another location. Pretty good. We're not going to go there. We just wanted to discover it so we can get the knowledge points. But let's go back to town right now. But we're going to go get these resources before we head back to town. They're on the way anyway. All right, we got the wood. We got those things. Now, we got to be careful in the woods because we can get ambushed by animals and we move slower in the woods. So there's always that. Oh, let's avoid these dudes. We don't want to mess with them. And as always, we get more speed because we invested in that perk. Now let's run back to town before we ended up getting caught by the guards. Oh, we can actually go pick up this resource real quick. It's right over here. Now, these resources do spawn randomly around the map. It's not always feasible to go off course to pick these up. But when they're close to your starting vicinity or where you ended up, where you're going anyway, it's definitely worth picking it up. Because you don't waste that much time, and time is precious in this game. There we go. Let's head back to the tavern. Cash in this bounty.
Might she be looking for work? Our role as emissaries is to ensure that all service requests are fulfilled. We regularly update our job offers.
Let's go. Now, they might have a new job offer even. That we completed one. Oh, in 19 hours. So, basically the next day, they'll have more jobs. We still have this other job to the far east we could go do. That's always good. And now we can get a companion if we want. We could afford somebody. Pretty good. Pretty interesting, huh? And there are new companions here as well. Oh, these are same people, looks like. Oh, no, these are new people. Now, a spear wielder. We want a spear wielder. We want at least one of every class for now. So, Judina, we'll think about that. We'll think about that. But for now, oh man, dope. I could literally play this game forever. When I first turned this game on for testing, I think I did like a 2-hour play test session just to test it out. This game is so amazing, man. I never want to turn it off. But we did a lot. We got a lot done. I did a lot of explaining in this first episode. Now, the future episodes, we're going to lean a lot more into the RPG aspects of the game. I just wanted to explain as much as possible in this first episode. So when we play this game in the future, and when we even run it back from the start, we won't have to do as much explanations for the channel and for the community. And with that being said, dope stuff, man. Dope stuff. All right. We're going to end the video here. If you're interested in playing this game, we got some information in the description box below. I appreciate you for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one. It's your boy DB4, and I'm out. Peace.